Just because it's called a yoga block doesn't mean you only have to do yoga with it. Come and join me for today's session as we put the block into different places. That's just going to enhance how you move, how you stabilize, and how you gain control around your central body. So let's take it away. So I'm going to take a lie down onto my back, grabbing the block. Now, if you don't have a yoga block, you can, of course, use a nice thick book, something that's got a hardness to it, because we want to get that feedback that comes to the body. We're going to place the block just over the front of your hips here at your lower belly. So it doesn't have to be banged quite completely up against your legs. In fact, it's better if there's no contact at the tops of your thighs. So we're just going to start with a little bit of breathing. Place your hands lightly onto the block and then take a breath in and out. And hopefully what you will sense is that as you breathe in, the block is going to rise up. And as you breathe out, the block is going to sink down. Now that's the normal way of breathing, that our abdominal wall opens, extends. And then as we breathe out, all of that comes back to the midline. So we're going to keep that breathing pattern going, but we're going to start to add some movement. And the first movement is going to be an arm reach. So the two arms will go over. We'll do that on an inhale. And then breathing out, arms return down. And then again, breathing in. And breathing out. So as we keep going with that breath style, with that movement, the block being on the front of your belly area is going to give your brain new feedback or new awareness or a new focal point. So even though this is an arm arc exercise, we are getting the feeling of, oh, actually there's something else going on. So new information for the brain to process. From here, we'll leave the arms at your side and we're going to open one knee toward the floor, and it doesn't have to get all the way down, it doesn't even have to get halfway down. What I'm looking for is that the block is going to stay balanced and level, and then bringing the leg closed and back into parallel. The other leg is going to open out and away, and then bringing it back. Now, it's very common to feel that one side moves easier than the other. So don't worry about the range, worry about how steady the block is. So sometimes we give you cues for your foot that stays on the ground to stay with an equal pressure point. Today, I'd like you to think about the block on your belly staying with an equal pressure point above you. And then we'll go one more time to each side. Also remember that if you're not comfortable lying on your back like this and you need head support, then it's important that you can prop yourself up with a towel or a cushion, just something that just gives your neck and shoulders a little bit more even alignment. Let's send the two knees away together and then bringing them back in. And the whole time your emphasis and focus is just on keeping that block really balanced. So we'll just do two more times. As I'm opening my knees, I'm also allowing for my foot to roll. So I'm on the edge of the foot and then bringing it back. And then one more time, just letting the foot roll with the knee, with the hip, and then back to center. And then from here, we're going to lift the hips up and place the block now underneath the pelvis. So where we had it on front is now where we have it on the back. And sometimes it takes a couple of goes just to make sure that you're in a good position. Just being on the block in this position will already start to make things feel different around your hips. You may feel a little bit more opening through the fronts of the hip folds. You may feel wide or spreading at the front of the pelvis. That's how I feel. Whatever it is for you, there'll be something. If you had a cushion behind your head and you're now crunching your neck down, remove the cushion out of position. So from here, we're going to go into some similar moves, but we're going to bring our knees back up into an air or a high position. And you can lower your heels down. I always find that's more comfortable for most people's thighs. And then we're going to send the arms backward again. So remember, we're going to inhale as the arms travel over. And then we're going to exhale and bring the arms back down to your side. So just having this different awareness of the block now under the pelvis versus it being on top of the pelvis feels very different to the body. The brain is getting different messages again of where to stabilize from, where are the pressure points, where is the focus. And then we'll go one more time with the arms traveling back behind and then bringing the arms forward again. Rest the arms down. Now, instead of sending the knees outward, we're going to bring the knees and the feet in line with each other. And we're going to lower one heel down in the direction of the floor and then bring it back up. And then the other heel will go down. Now, I like to go with my heels because that way I keep the back of the knee the same shape. If I go with my toe, most people will collapse the knee and then they're just sort of dipping a toe down rather than actually making the movement happen from the top of the hip joint. So the thigh is moving away and then the thigh is moving toward the body. All right, we'll go another one time to each side. And while you're doing this, you're looking for your head and your shoulders to stay very level underneath you. So there should be no sort of rocking, rolling, jerking actions. We're going to continue with this movement, but add in a little oblique. So your left foot is going to tap across and over towards the right, and then bring it back up. And then the right leg is going to go and do that. So our oblique muscles are muscles that can help us, 1, breathe, 2, stabilize, and 3, move. And the movement that they make is usually a bend sideways or a rotation. But everyone thinks of that happening from the top of the spine. But this exercise here will be working those deep obliques, internal and external. Everything's working just with that cross over the center of the body. We have one more time. Hopefully you're with me. Right side tapping. And then just relax the legs. So you're just going to let the knees soften towards just for a moment. And then we're going to go into a bit of a combination move. So we're going to send our legs back into that position we just had them in and raise the arms towards the ceiling. So our first move is going to send the 2 arms backward and then bring the arms back towards the ceiling. Now, if you struggle with this one, please do one leg at a time, but give it a go. We're lowering both feet in the direction of the floor and then bringing them back up. And then the arms are going to go back and the arms to the ceiling. And then the heels are going to tap to the mat and bring them back. And we'll do that one more time just as is. So back with the arms, forward with the arms, and then down with the heels and up with the knees. Now we're going to try and do them at the same time. So it's going to put a bit more work through your midline. Remember, your ribs and hips are the most important things here, to not open and flare them apart. So arms go back and legs go down, and then everything comes back to neutral again. Now, it's no shame if you don't touch the floor. In fact, halfway might be even better for me today, as I feel a little challenged in this movement, and pressing away and returning all the way back. Hug your knees in towards your chest, hold your left leg toward you and stretch your right leg forward, out and away, and then pull the knee back in. And again, reach it away from you and draw it back in. We're going to do that one more time. Stretch it forward and then bring it back. We're still on the right leg. We're going to straighten the leg toward the ceiling. I've got a slight pull of my foot toward me, and then I'm going to lower the leg down in the direction of the floor and then raise that leg back up. I do actually feel like I want to do some ankle work with that, so I'm going to flex a foot down and then I'm going to point the toe and bring it up. And then I'm going to flex it down, and as though I had a paintbrush with my foot, painting on the ceiling or onto the wall away from me. Last one. Now this next one, as we do, we're going to make it a sort of combination. So we're going to go down. It's a bicycle leg. You're going to bend your knee, draw it in, and then straighten the leg up and flex the foot, go down, bend your knee, soften your foot, and bring it up. One more time as we take it down and away, and then bending the knee all the way in. On this next one, as we lower the leg down, we're going to let that leg rest to the floor if you can get it there. So the heel is going to touch onto the mat. And you're just going to enjoy opening up down the front of your right thigh. Again, that gentle pressure of your left leg toward you. Now, if you find this uncomfortable, you can always put, say, a little towel rolled up between your hip and your thigh, and that might just give you a bit of space. So if it's not super comfortable there, you can always use that as an option. And then we're going to bring the leg back in and we're going to switch to the other side. So we hold the right thigh in. Now be careful when you do this that you don't just suddenly tip off and lose contact with the block at your tail. You still want your sacrum rested level on the block surface, and then just gently holding that knee towards you. It's not a forceful motion. Bring the heel up in line with the knee, and again we're pressing the leg forward first and then drawing it back in. And straighten the leg away and drawing it back. There's just one more time like that as we reach it to the front and then bringing it in. Send the leg straight up towards the ceiling, a flex of your foot as we come down, and then a point of your toe as you come up. And again, flex the foot lower and point the toe lift. So again, I still think of a paintbrush on my foot as I'm going down and up. And then on this next one, as I go down, I'm going to add in that bicycle motion. So the knee is going to fold in and then straighten back up. So what I'm not doing is I'm not collapsing my leg in and just coming in with a sloppy angle. I'm really focusing on the lengthening and the shortening and the control at my hip, my knee, and my ankle. Last time as we go all the way down, bring it all the way back in, and then you're going to send that leg all the way down, let the heel get to the mat. Even if you have a slight knee bend as that happens, that's also okay. You've got to go where your body is feeling good. So as we're here, we've got that length again from basically under your rib cage all the way down the front of the thigh towards your front of your ankle. In the ideal world, your leg would be aligned, so you don't want the leg to be flopped out to the side. And then again, just some of that deep breathing we started our class with. And then from there, we'll place your foot on the floor. The other one goes down, the hips lift, and we rest down onto the mat surface. And this is a really important point, to not really rush to the next moment, but to feel the effect of what's just happened. So hopefully you're going to feel, one, more aware of the back of your body, and two, you may even notice maybe it's released, it's wider, it's more present. I don't know what your word is going to be, but it's going to feel different to how we began. So from here, what we're going to do, pardon me, is to take the block into a wide position and place it between your thighs. This is a very personal position where you want to put it, because for some people lower down is easier, some people higher up is easier, but you just want to be able to maintain that position. So we're going to take a breath in, and then we're going to hold our breath and squeeze onto the block for 4, 3, 2, 1, and then exhale and release the squeeze. And then repeat that. Inhale, and then hold the breath and squeeze for 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. And we're going to do that one more time. Breath in and squeezing for 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax that hold. From here, we change the angle of the block. We're going to put it into its slim position and bring the block between the two knees. You're going to send your hands laced behind the back of your head. Remember, this is another good time to feel like if you need that head support, you can take the cushion or the towel behind you. And then from this angle, we're going to be going into knees lifting up into the air. So elbows are going to stay onto the ground. Once your knees are in the air, you may want to reposition that block shape. So from here, we're going to send the legs towards the right side first. So we lower down in the direction of the floor. There is no need to get to the floor, and then bringing the legs back up. So the image we're going to have is, as the knees go over to the next side, your opposite shoulder and elbow are going to stay rested on the mat, and then bringing it back to center. And again, taking it across. So often in this exercise of side to side, many people leave the top leg sort of lagging and don't take the top leg with you. When we've got the block, it really helps to direct the top leg over and across with the bottom leg, and then come back to midline. And we'll go again to the right. Gentle movement through your lower back. You may feel even a little bit of glute stuff happening underneath you, like releasing on the mat surface. That all depends on how tight you feel through that lower half of your body. And then from there, we're going to bring our hands towards the backs of your thighs, nod your head forward, and just roll yourself up to sitting so that the block is still between your knees. So if you need to put your hair up and out of the way, this is going to be a great time to do that. We're going to keep the block between the knees if you can, and just do a lovely spin around so that you are now facing towards the mat. So from here, we've got our toes in a tuck position, hands are under the shoulders, knees are underneath the hips. So we're going to go into a gentle hover, lift the knees, and then lower the knees. We'll do that again, raising the knees and then lowering. So you don't want to come up so high that your organization of your pelvis and head changes. Everything should still feel like it's in its neutral position.
We got one more time just like this, hovering the knees up and then lowering them down. Now on the next one, we're going to hover the knees and we're going to sweep the knees from side to side, just like we did on our back a moment ago. It'll be a little faster than what we did on our back. So taking a breath in, exhale, lift the knees. Hold here for your in-breath, and then exhale, sweep the knees to one side and then through towards the other side. And again, sweep and sweep. So this is a challenge to keep the knees together. Those obliques are going to be loving you. Last one to each side, and then bringing it all the way back and down. From here, we're going to bring the block out in front of us and just take a lie down onto your tummy surface. So in this position, we're just going to have that block centralized and your hands are going to be on the side of the block. As you lower yourself down, I'm just going to wriggle back so my block is on my mat still. As you wriggle yourself down, hands are on the edges of the block. Take a breath in, and then breathing out, start to lift into the front of your chest. And as you do, you're going to bring the block up to meet toward your forehead. And then you're going to lower yourself down, lower the arms. And again, breathing out, begin the lift of the front of the chest. Bend the elbows, bring the block in the direction of your head. And then lowering the arms down and then lowering the chest. So as we're doing that, we want to make sure that we've got good mobility in our upper body. There needs to be a little softness in the elbows so that the arms can still work with the spine to bring you up. And having your hands in this narrow position for some people will be quite awkward. So we're keeping organized through our shoulders as we're doing this and just focusing on deep, deep movement around the back of the shoulder area. And then we'll go one more time like that, lifting top of the head, front of the chest, fold into the elbows, straighten the arms, and then coming all the way back towards your mat surface. From here, we're going to place the block just onto the back of the sacrum, so similar to how we did when we lay on our back. So just finding and organizing where that might be. Bring your hands underneath your forehead position. You can keep flat hands, or you could even go into a little bit of a stack of your fists. So whatever is going to feel most comfortable for your lower back area. So from this position, I'm just going to come up because otherwise my microphone crackles. So from here, making sure your shoulders are rested away from your ears. We don't want to be bunched up into your neck. And we're going to begin to raise a leg, lifting it just up off of the floor. So kneecap is off the ground, toes are reaching behind, and then we lower your leg down again. The other side is going to lift. So in this variation, your intention is to keep that block as balanced as possible on the back of your body. If you lift your leg too high, you will start to feel this shift happening in the pelvis and in the block. So again, this is just letting your brain know, oh, there's something there I need to pay attention to. It's not really making the exercise harder in terms of like a strength. It's just making your nervous system more aware of what you're doing, which is key to, perfecting movement or getting better at your moving. One more time as we lift our leg and hold your leg here. So my right leg is up, and then I'm going to open my leg out to the side, bring it back in, and then lower it down. And then the other side is going to go. First I lift it up, then I widen it open, I narrow it in, and return the leg down. So we're working all three of our big glute muscles. We've got our glute max that helps to lift the leg, and then our medius and minimus help to open the leg. So everything working as a team, no isolating anything, everybody working together. Last time as we lift and open and then draw it in and drop it down, and then final time to the left, rise and widen and then return and bring it back. All right, from here we're going to take that block away and put it to the side and then bring yourself up into a sitting position. We're going to finish just with a little rotation and side bend variation. And then from here, we're going to take our arms open to the side. You're going to place your hand onto the block and just go for a side reach over. So when your hand is higher than the floor, the elbow is going to have capacity. If you could see my elbow, come up the way. You could see my elbow is going in the direction of the floor. It's got a little more depth, so that's going to help me sort of understand where my shoulder is placed. and then coming back up. Sorry, that was just a demo version. Let's go again. As we go over, we go into the side bend. Let's hold that position, and then we're going to rotate. So your chest bone is going to look toward the hand on the block. Your other arm is looking out towards the wall away from you, and then go back into your side shape and then travel all the way up again. Now I'm in a Z-sit position. You can cross both legs over if you need to. And again, side bend, stretch, and then rotating in the upper spine. My hips are staying steady underneath me. My sit bones are staying even. Back to your side shape and coming up. And we'll do that one last time. Side reach over. So these moves of our mermaid and rotation, we're really still thinking of our upper back doing the workout. The head and shoulders are staying really well organized through that motion. So sending the block to the opposite way, and then send your legs to the opposite way. So what I mean by the shoulders staying organized is the space that I have between ears and shoulders in sitting is going to be the same as when I go over. So again, start arms out, hand onto the block, and we side reach across, and then pause there as you turn to look toward your hand on the block, and then bring it back to the side, and then lift yourself all the way again. And then we repeat 2 more times. Reach across, and then feel your chest bone turning to look in the direction of your hand. And you never want to force the twist. You never want to force the side bend. You've got to always make sure that you know what your body is feeling and how far is too far, because too far can end up in injury, and we don't want that in our movement session today or any other day. All right. That's what we've got time for. Thank you for helping me unwind and unravel a yoga block, knowing that it can be used in many different ways, not just in yoga. And I hope you enjoyed it. Remember, if you like the content, it's always useful if you like, comment, subscribe, or even share the video along, because that helps other people get it in their feed, and we can get more people moving better, feeling better, and living better. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye.